King George, who has been slumping since the All-Star break and is set to be one of this summer's top free agents. Remember, Westbrook's gunning got worse in the 2017 postseason, not better. After posting a record 41.7 usage rate last season, he topped out at a 47 usage in the playoffs. The presence of George and Anthony should prevent a repeat of that laughably hopeless one-man approach. Still, George can expect postseason scrutiny in two distinct ways: 1, if Westbrook trusts him and he fails to deliver, and 2, if he is left watching with little say in the late-game action. Will Westbrook and the Thunder find a way to strike a more appropriate late-game balance, one that produces wins in close games and manages to satisfy their all-star small forward? If not, will George's podium grumbles return before his career-shaping decision in July? Draymond Green, Warriors. The natural response to Stephen Curry's knee injury was to look for Kevin Durant to pick up the scoring slack. If one MVP goes down, the other simply delivers 34 points in a road win over the Thunder, right? The story isn't quite that simplistic. The Warriors don't fully transfer responsibility, like one might shift a heavy bag from one shoulder to another. Instead, they diffuse the burden among their many capable parts. Golden State's late-game performance against Oklahoma City on Tuesday night was a good example. Rookie guard Quinn Cook hit a key floater. Draymond Green connected with unheralded center Damian Jones for a lob. Klay Thompson nabbed a steal. Durant, Cook and Green all hit clutch free throws. When playing full tilt, Green is both a menace and an expert diffuser. He sets up Golden State's centers with high-low passes, he makes the right reads to open shooters, he initiates offense when necessary, and he helps provide spacing by moving around the perimeter freely. Defensively, he covers for his teammates in every imaginable way, whether calling out coverages, switching on to guards or stonewalling attempts around the basket. Golden State's offensive rating falls by nearly 14 points when Curry leaves the court. No one player, not even an unleashed Durant, can compensate for that level of impact. However, Green's versatility and intelligence make him ideally suited to helping five-man groups collectively pick up the slack. When Curry missed time with a knee sprain during the 2016 playoffs, for example, Green relished the opportunity to temporarily rework the Warriors in his own drawing, relentless image. Watch Steve Kerr open the season fretting about his team's ability to stay motivated on a night-to-night basis, and those concerns proved justified. The Warriors have settled into cruise control for most of the season, ceding the number 1 seed to the Rockets without much of a fight. Green, long viewed as Golden State's engine, has been very good but somewhat less maniacal. He has missed nearly as many games this season, 8, as he did in the previous 4 seasons combined, 10, and his 102.8 defensive rating is the worst mark of his career. Simultaneously, Green has been as edgy as ever, accruing 15 technical fouls, second in the NBA, and 3 ejections, tied for second. To be clear, Green and the Warriors have earned every benefit of the doubt, and Durant brushed off questions about his own issues with the referees, 14 technicals, 5 ejections, this week. Nevertheless, Curry's absence drops the Warriors from world beaters to very good, and it removes any margin for error when it comes to nonsense with the officials. For Green, the immediate task is clear: he's in charge of flipping the switch. If Golden State struggles in its first-round matchup, Green's play and any signs of slippage in impact or energy will be the first thing to go under the microscope. Jusuf Nurkic, Blazers. Portland's Jusuf Nurkic enters the playoffs amid a perfect storm of narratives. The restricted free agent-to-be seeks redemption for an ill-timed injury that kept him from contributing significantly during a 2017 first-round exit and the first major payday of his career. As a traditional 7-foot center who plies his trade in the West, he must also be prepared for both the small ball style that tends to dominate the playoffs and a host of talented centers. To get to the Western Conference Finals, the Blazers will likely have to contend with the Warriors, who downshift to smaller lineups with Draymond Green and Kevin Durant at will. At the same time, the Blazers' most likely first-round opponents all have formidable centers: Oklahoma City's Steven Adams, Utah's Rudy Gobert, Minnesota's Karl-Anthony Towns and New Orleans' Anthony Davis. Problems could arise for Nurkic, who has vacillated between punishing play and frustrating passivity, on both stylistic fronts. Against the likes of Adams and Gobert, he must avoid playing smaller than his size around the basket, a common lament among Blazer maniacs. Against Towns, Davis and the Warriors' bigs, he must be prepared to defend in space out to the arc. When opponents stay big, he must play physically while avoiding foul trouble, as Portland's other frontcourt options are largely finesse-oriented. When opponents go small, he must be mentally prepared to ride the pine for matchup purposes, something that's been a major point of contention in the past. At first glance, it is tempting to be a bit gloomy about Nurkic's playoff fate, as he lacks three-point range and isn't the fleetest of foot on defense. In recent years, Toronto's Jonas Valanciunas, who boasts a similar physical profile and similar limitations, has regularly been played off the court. Even Gobert, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate, couldn't stop Golden State's onslaught in the 2017 West semifinals. But Nurkic, 14.3 ppg, 8.7 rebounds per game, has built real momentum after a slow start to the season, serving as a key driver of Portland's surprising push up the standings. He has posted 15/10 averages since the All-Star break, and helped the Blazers improve from 21st in defensive efficiency in 2017 to 10th this year. A terrible defender earlier in his career, Nurkic has cut down on his egregious fouls and made strides when it comes to positioning. Off-season conditioning work and the largest offensive role of his career have helped with his overall engagement and effort too. With Nurkic on the court, Portland's defensive rating is 101.5, on par with elite units like Boston and San Antonio. When he goes to the bench, Portland falls to 107.2, which would rank 14th among the likely 16 playoff teams, besting only Minnesota and Cleveland. A recent home loss to Houston offered a preview of why Nurkic should be one of the West's most fascinating postseason chess pieces. When the Rockets went to super small lineups late in the game, Stotts elected to ride with Nurkic in hopes of playing the size and style mismatch to the Blazers' favor. Nurkic responded by powering through for back-to-back fourth-quarter buckets, finishing with 21 points and 11 rebounds. On the other end, though, the Rockets hit 4 three-pointers in the game's final 5 minutes, with Nurkic trying in vain to close out to shooters on multiple occasions. Will Portland try a similar approach in the playoffs? Or, will they pray that their smaller lineups can function better defensively than they have all season? Nurkic's ability to contend with these challenges will help clarify his future in Portland, the size and length of his next deal, his standing among the West's talented group of young bigs, and the Blazers' ceiling as a dark horse contender in years to come. That's all. No pressure.